anyone to be here, but that's okay because maybe somebody will see it later and go, "Oh, that's what Tom's up to." So it's been a crazy, busy sort of time in my life. Um, some people know, of course, my dad passed away August, which really threw me for a loop. He was in home hospice before that for a little while, but he didn't last long. But it did derail a lot of my life and my business plans, as one might imagine. Being an only child, I didn't have anybody else I could sort of call up and go, "Can you help with mom and dad?" So, been dealing with that, which, that's life. We all deal with it. But I wanted to kind of come back and talk a little bit about what I've been up to, what's going on, what I hope to have going on for all the people that have been so supportive of me and of the projects or of the channel itself. Or if you're seeing it now, going, "Who?" Maybe I'll interest you in some of the stuff that I've been doing that I really care about. I'm an actor and a filmmaker and a writer, and I love creating stuff. That's kind of my job, is making stuff up and then sort of making it and then sharing it with you. And one of the powerful things about YouTube is, and I haven't exploited this as much as I probably should have so far, is the wonderful connection that I have with an audience. The ability to go directly to the people that go, "Hey, I like your stuff, Tom," and actually thank them and create for them and get to know people and know my audience, know what they enjoy. It feeds the steam in the engine when somebody likes what you're doing or says they appreciate it or don't appreciate it or whatever. It's out there for you to hopefully enjoy, and that's what I'm trying to do. With this update, let's talk first. Island in the Stars. We had that terrific initial crowdfunding campaign to be able to hire a lawyer to get material out, which we did. We built the infrastructure, the cash register, as I said in a number of interviews when I was on Robert Meyer Burnett and other people's shows, Zach's and Netters and all these different people that I was on their stream, Midnight Edge. A bunch of great people have been supportive. We were able to do that. And over the summer, sort of just before things happened with my dad, was able to get the script to a number of terrific A-list actors that were sort of on my wish list. One thing that a next step with it is, when a distributor comes to you, they have a list of people they feel they can sell, and I have a list of people that I think are appropriate. I don't want to compromise who's in the movie just for sales reasons. But by the same token, I'm not an idiot as far as getting someone that can sell the film, that hopefully moves the ball forward and allows me to cash flow a distribution contract and get the rest of the money to make the film that I really passionately want to make, which is Island in the Stars. I've been living with it now for 3.5, maybe 4 years since it started. Mike Smith and I, Mike is at Luminactus. By the way, there's links to all my projects in the description as I talk about them. If you want to learn about them or go, "Hey, jump in and get involved," if some of them are crowdfunding, or you just want to watch them. You're getting people to watch the channel more, particularly new things that I've put up, like my stuff from Mindstream, which I'll talk about in a little bit, which is my Radio Reborn, kind of the humorous side. I used to do a lot of comedy, a lot of sketch comedy and British comedy and different stuff. And the outlet for that during the pandemic became doing all these live streams that I would record and then add layers in and music and things. And it really became like Radio Reborn. It was, audio fiction podcasts have found new life. And so through this thing called Radio Reborn, which I've been lucky enough to get some amazing actors executing scripts that I come up with, or in a few cases, we reenacted some classic scripts. Hello, everybody. Hail, everybody. All two of us, but that's great. I'm grateful that you guys are here. just kind of updating everybody on what's going on in life and with the project. So I'm glad you're here, both of you. Shanatsky and deleted scenes. Thank you. Um, so as I was saying, that became an outlet for me where it's now on. I host it on Buzzsprout, but it's on Spotify and it's on Apple Podcasts and almost every audio platform you can listen to. The reasonably amazing adventures of Flash Gordon. I have 10 episodes of that. I'm really proud of. I always describe it when he goes, "Well, what is it?" And it's like, well, it was a public domain radio show from the early 1930s, before it was a serial or anything. They did these sort of radio show adaptions of the comic book, and I love science fiction, but I also love doing comedy. And I thought, well, that would be kind of fun to do a Naked Gun Monty Python style. Yes, I'm looking forward to hanging out. Looking at a Naked Gun Monty Python style take on these Flash Gordon radio shows, and it just sort of flowed out of me, and I started working with Curtis Bedford on them, who wanted to start Mindstream Players with me. And I brought in people like Stephanie Stearns Dooley and Jude Gerard Press, Bob Clendenin, Dave Beeler, Gino C. Villanelli, a bunch of the actors, some of which Michael Neal, some of these actors I've worked with for 20, 25 years, because my day job is still as an actor. I have some terrific people that I started off on stage with and doing shows with. And so, Radio Reborn and the Mindstream Players is a labor of love. I've loaded them here on my channel. I also have a dedicated channel, Mindstream Radio, here on YouTube as well. But you can listen to them on any audio platform. And something I wanted to share with you about that, since seem to have veered off into that from talking about Island of the Stars. I'll come back to it. We just did a Halloween show, which I believe Shadatsky came to, right? Yes, you did. And we had a good time. We had a full house. It was an intimate kind of group. It wasn't a huge theater, but it was full, and everyone had a good time. We actually performed. I rewrote an episode of The Shadow called The Three Ghosts, which is sort of a good Halloween theme. We did it at a place called the Philosophical Research Society, which I had never heard of before, but I love this place. It's like an Indiana Jones library and media place and museum. It's a very cool place, and they reached out, and we kind of made a deal to do a one night of two shows of what it would be like if you went to a live radio show recording, back in the 30s or 40s. What would it have been like? And so that's what we ended up doing. And hello, chat. If you have any questions about this, just jump in. I am looking at it, guys. If you have any questions about anything I'm talking about, I'm happy to derail the conversation and go over there and talk about it. So this place, the Philosophical Research Society, was super cool. We went in. We actually had live sound effects, and Brian Arata was playing organ, piano sounds during it. We did two things. I had rewritten The Shadow, The Three Ghosts. I played The Shadow, and we had a full cast, perform that. And then we did The Rats in the Walls, which is an H.P. Lovecraft story that John Streisig actually adapted, and I directed that one as well. I played Norris in that. Pete Handelman played the lead, Delacour. Pete was also in the rest of it. It was a really fun night, and it was the first time I had been on stage. I used to be on stage every week, in the 90s and stuff. That was what a lot of what I did was live shows, and it was a lot of scripted sketch or plays and different things, which is really where you're honing your instrument as an actor and trying things out. And I missed it. I stopped doing it right before the pandemic, and then the pandemic kind of killed it because you couldn't do live theater in LA, or couldn't do live performance of any kind. So I got back into it, and I really enjoyed it. We recorded it actually live too, and I have not listened to the recording yet because I had to leave, and we filmed it and had recordings of it. We used these Zoom recorders to record it, but the files needed to transfer. So Curtis actually stayed and got the files, and I haven't gotten them yet from him, but I am gonna make shows out of it, and I will post them here and as audio versions on all the podcasting platforms, Spotify and Apple Podcasts and all those so that you can if you missed it, you can hear it. Um, the other thing that, I've been having a lot of fun doing is I've been remastering things or reintroducing things. Like right here before Halloween, I put up Ghost Quest, which is something that I did with Gino Civianelli, which is our just funny, goofy. It's basically two-man comedy of these two guys um, that investigate paranormal phenomenon and never really find anything. Never really find ghosts, never really find anything that they're after, but you just love them. And um, take a look at those. Those are here on this channel here called Ghost Quest. We have these little vignettes of where we'll go, and they're really a high wire act. There's a couple of them, they'll be 3-4 minutes long, no cuts. It's just the comic timing between us as performers. There's one with a solar powered meat thermometer that I'm quite proud of. Take a look at that here on the channel if you get a chance, and please comment on the videos and let me know what you're liking and not liking. We may revisit that. I actually just got together with Gino and we were lamenting that we had written a pilot that we never filmed anything from. So maybe if people are liking Ghost Quest on here, um, we might do another one. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is one way that I'm trying to get more eyeballs on things and raise the profile on it. And some of my other material that I've done over the years that I'm really proud of is Invention with Brian Forbes. That is currently on Tubi right now. If you search Invention with Brian Forbes on Tubi TV, it's free. There are some ads in it, but that's how, you get paid. And certainly, worth looking at if you like British comedy. It's me and David Beeler doing two characters we absolutely love. I love Sir Reginald Oh Hey No. I've been doing him for 20 years, and I always enjoy switching my mind to his, and those are scripted. I love writing them, and really enjoy directing them too because Dave's amazing as Brian Forbes. Take a look at those. I do have a version of it also with things that didn't end up in the Tubi version. The Tubi version is about an hour and a half. I added a few of my favorites that there just for time there wasn't time to put them in that incarnation of it because they were making a DVD of it. Yeah, they still make DVDs of it, and there was a time limit. It would be like 90 minutes. So the version on Tubi is terrific. But if you want to see even more, there are some sprinkled in and even more remastered here on this channel. Look for Invention with Brian Forbes. It's the compilation one that just got uploaded right here on the channel. Definitely be fun to take a look. These things, I do them as a labor of love, and hopefully they make you giggle or you get a laugh out of it, or we try and be, witty and clever, and I'd love to know what you think of them. With the movies, getting back to the movies, Island in the Stars was really chugging along quite well before my dad passed. I did pause it for a little while to settle things up. Where we are right now, I'll be completely honest, is the most difficult step. Because we were able to get the script out and we did collect some yeses and nos. With the yeses, we're in a position now where you have to show that you have the ability to pay the actors that you want. And with people, big people, for instance, Michelle Yeoh or Mel Gibson or somebody, you would have to have an LOI. What I'm looking for is a letter of intent that is non-binding. It doesn't lock someone into something just yet, but it does come with a proof of funds. And what that means is just we would show an agent an LOI for, say, $2 million, showing the ability to make a payment or pay for an actor. If you get that commitment because the actor has said yes, then their agent will say, well, I can say yes if you can prove to me that you'll meet their price or you have the resources to pay it. Then you take that to a distributor and say, "Now I can tell you what I already knew, which is they wanna do it." Now their agent will allow me to say they wanna do it. If you have that, then you're able to get the money, that you can cash flow off a distribution contract, and also using that distribution contract, you can go in the case of Island in the Stars, I'm shooting it in Australia, so you're gonna go and take advantage of any, producer's offset, any infrastructure that's there that puts some money back in your coffer that you can recoup people. Because my responsibility with anything is to get the investors back their money and hopefully a little bit more. And the way I do that is by making the best possible film I can with the best team that I can. And I've assembled a great group of people over the decades of doing this and knowing people and putting things together that with people that you really love to work with that are super talented, that get what I'm doing as a writer director, you can make the best film that you possibly can and hope that the world is ready for it and plan the best you possibly can to market it and get it out there. But right now, my job is trying to find that next step of money so that I can tell the people that would be able to give me the contract that this yeah, that's a great point. No one wants to do your project until everyone wants to do it. Well, that's true. Um, you can know that people want to do it, but you need permission from the gatekeepers to tell them on the other side that those people do want to do it, and that's where I am right now. And we have some very significant leads in that area. One recently, Vernon is traveling at the moment. I think he's back now, but he called from another country and had met someone that he was traveling with who was very keen on it. So I'm going to have a conversation with that person very soon. But we need to multiply those people. I need to find 5 or 6 people like that because most are going to say no at the end of the day, and hopefully one says yes, and that moves us to the next step. So with Island, um, I have developed it as much as I possibly can. If you saw the depth of the preparation we've done, we have everything: the cash flow, the detailed budget, the production designs, have a composer, have the script is still being refined with Alan Dean Foster, who I've been learning so much about writing and just become a real good friend. And he's going to be there for us to check me and to make sure that it's the best possible script. Mike and I have the utmost respect for him, and he adds positively to the screenwriting process. And then terrific cast, obviously, and then the producing staff on this is great. I'm really lucky to have put this team together, and I'm trying to keep it together. And the thing that keeps it together is money. So the crowdfunding is still open on it. We do have stretch goals. That money right now is important because it allows me to keep a lawyer on retainer to do these contracts. If an investor comes back and says yes, you have to draw up paperwork, you have to do all the things you want, and if you want to approach other actors, they don't always take a call. You sometimes need to have it come through a lawyer and or agent. So that hello, Darth. Thanks for joining. I'm glad you're here. It's good to have you here. I'm glad to see the chat. I'm really grateful you guys are here. I'm just kind of recapping my situation where we are and what we're looking forward to and what I'm up to. So the link to the Indiegogo, if you want to see pictures from it or watch the videos that Vernon's in, or learn more about it, see if you haven't contributed already and are interested in contributing, then great. If you just want to see what's up, by all means, take a look at it. It's linked here in the description. And the other thing, take a look at the Mindstream players, the Radio Reborn audio fiction stuff they do. I'm really very proud of that. Another thing that I've been working on, I just uploaded a video and I thought, what, I haven't talked about it much, is another company called Safe Harbor Films hired me to direct a low-budget sci-fi Western, which is kind of an interesting idea. And it's a Native American cast, or principally Native American, in that the main character is. It's set on this reservation, and it's a sci-fi abduction thriller. And I have an interview with Michael Horse on here, which is kind of interesting. I really loved chatting with him, talking about, how do you like to work and all the different people that he's worked with, from Twin Peaks to all the, Lone Ranger to all the different things that he's done. He joined the cast and he seems excited to have me directing him, which is a lot of fun. I know they're also doing a crowdfunding. That link is in the description as well, and it's very worthwhile. Take a look at Paleface. It's a very interesting project. It started as a book. Um, Bill Kilpack III wrote the book, and that was my introduction to it. And I thought, well, this is pretty good. This is something I haven't seen before. It's very universal, but very specific as far as someone living in two worlds and trying to deal with this supernatural thing that happened. So um, I've been working on Paleface for them and trying to get that going for them. And I think that would be a lot of fun to shoot. I've had some interesting other offers happen, and I'm trying to parlay them. I wrote a script a couple of years ago um, with a collaborator, actually a script doctor, called Test Drive, and it's been winning, a lot of screenplay contests and different things. And I even was approached to have it optioned about a year ago. Didn't end up optioning it because I wanted to direct it first off, and I wanted to use the volume in this exciting new way. And it's a contained space thriller set in a car. And the deal was bad at the end of the day for me because I think they knew they had something good because they were like, yeah, we'll keep the rights, and I'm sorry, no sequel. We won't be included in the sequel if we do a TV spinoff and things." And I was like, "Wait a minute, what? It doesn't cost you anything to include, all boats rise," but we couldn't find a parody with it. Um, the thing about Test Drive that's been interesting is it came to me. I was washing my car, and you're sitting there, and I always have these running dialogues and things in my head, and this premise came to me for Test Drive. I was like, God, it's so simple. I should write this down, and it flowed out very easily. What's happened with it now has been, I put it in front of a couple of people that were judges in one of the things that it won, and I said, "I don't care about the prize, but who were the judges?" And several of the judges were film distributors, and so I asked to meet with them, and they did. And this one guy owns a distribution company, and he got me. He was like, "I thought you were just a writer who didn't know how to make a movie. I didn't know you directed features and you're involved. You know how to manufacture the movie. You write it to have something to make. Most people write it and then don't know what to do with it." And I was like, "No, no, I know how to do it." And I showed him how I would do it, what the methodology was, and that I had a team and that I had a company, Lumenactus. If you want to check out Lumenactus, that link for my production company is also in the description. Everything should be in there. I tried to think of everything. Um, so by the end of the meeting, it was about a good hour-long meeting. We talked about it, and I pitched a bunch of different ideas. He's like, "I want to do Test Drive. I want to give you a distribution agreement." So I got a letter from him the following Monday, basically saying, love to have worldwide rights to this. We'll jump in a little bit for the cost of the actors, the two main actors. So I'm trying to turn that into something. And it's weird. It must be something in the air because then through the Paleface people, they mentioned someone that I had known 10, 15 years ago in LA who moved to Atlanta. And he had a deal where he had money and a distribution pipeline, an agreement. And was like, "Hey, I'm looking for films, to do." Okay. I found out, the split is very good. What they're bringing to the table for financing, they're looking for a million, 2 million, 3 million, although they would go up to 15 million, but you need to have 30% in place. So a lower budget movie makes sense for me to go out and find somebody that's willing to put some money in as an executive producer, because I can get that money back to them through the tax credits and through producing this, and of course through the sales that it's going to make even before it gets released. So I'm looking actively for someone to put in, say, 30% of $1 million budget or 30% of a $2 million budget. And I have several films that are written and have pitch decks and are ready to go, that I feel like would be very viable. and I've put them all in front of them, and so far that's been kind of positive. So, as with most things with this business, there's a lot of things that everybody loves you, but you got to wait for the check, and I'm sure the chat will agree. It's like you have to not only create all of it, but somebody who can make a decision has to say, "Okay, I get it," and pull out their checkbook and uh, and give you the money and the resources that you need that you knew that you could already make this. I've been doing this almost 30 years. I know how to manufacture these movies. I know how to make this stuff. I have a great relationship with a creative team. The difference is money. I think Orson Welles said he wasted most of his life looking for money instead of doing the stuff that he loved, and that's the unfortunate thing about being your own sort of indie artist or whatever. If you don't have a patron or a sponsor, um, let's say Shinatsky has something. Yes, I think I told you making a film is bashing your head into a brick wall until you somehow break through. Oh, is that true? That is so true. Um, One of the things about it is I say it's getting everyone around a hole, and they're all on fire, and then push them all in the hole at the same time. Or being an air traffic controller, and all the planes are on fire, and you have to land them. And that's a skill, and I have to do it. My I don't have another thing that I do. This is what I do, so I have to find a way to make that work every time. And I'm excited about what we'd be able to do. It's funny when you talk about just making a low budget movie like $1 million is nothing to what some of the money that's spent on Hollywood movies, or that the net worth of some people, they'll blow through that money. I could live on it for the rest of my life, let alone make a bunch of movies. When I hear someone's making $100 million film, I'm like, well, first off, I'm jealous, but second of all, I could make 50 movies for that. And if any one of them was good and was a hit, you would get to move on to the next thing. But that's just a different philosophy, I suppose. Um, I love telling stories in whatever form they are, whether it's a film or doing these audio fiction podcasts, which you can create cinema for your brain. The theater of the mind is the old saying about it. Is I love doing that, but film and the visual of film is what I really love. I love doing, and I love doing it as a filmmaker. I love acting in this. Um, I love doing, video game things. When I did Red Dead Redemption, you know, those both of those games, it was so much fun because it was a movie, a western for video games, which was kind of cool. It was very cinematic. Really, at the end of the day, I'm right now working to. I'm poised in a couple of places to finally bring the next projects to light. And I wanted to share that with everybody and just kind of put a little bit of a spotlight on the stuff that I've been putting here on YouTube. I'm trying to get my views up. I'm trying to get my subscribers up because I never want to take it for granted. I'm so grateful that anybody cares about what we're doing, what I'm doing in particular. And with this channel, I don't think I've used it as well as I could. And I'm going to try and do a better job about that. But I have all these videos on here and I'm trying to get them seen. That's the point, to have people look at what you've done or listen to what you've done. Trouble is, my business is even on here if you want to check it out in black and white, which is my preferred format. But it's, there's a collection. This has become like the collection of my creativity and my mind. There's stuff on here. It's pretty eclectic, which probably all hurts it at the same time. I know the best, most efficient YouTube channels are one thing and one clear message, and people go to it for self-help or they go to it for movie commentary. And mine isn't. It's very much me. It's insane comedy, film noir, science fiction. It's not any one thing because I'm not any one thing. When I'm an actor, I'm a chameleon. You might be like, I didn't think Tom was that goofy, or I didn't think he could do anything serious. It's harder sometimes when you're like that. I think you would agree. Um, they want to pigeonhole you in one particular thing. There's a lot of things I like doing, a lot of styles I like doing them in. I'm excited. You know, there's a couple of scripts coming from outside people, a vampire film and some other things that I would love to do. We're kind of getting the scripts in shape on some of these things, but I also have a backlog of things that I've been wanting to film and get done. The big, more ambitious stuff, obviously, is to take things to the next level. I'm tired of being a waiter. I want to own the restaurant. Over the years, I've made people a lot of money um, doing their stuff. Whether it's, I was a staff writer at Warner Brothers, things that I did like Be Cool Scooby Doo and those kind of shows did great for Warner Brothers. As an actor, I've done tons of stuff for different shows and movies and commercials and stuff. But the things for me are also for you. I don't want everyone to agree with what I'm doing, just enough people. If enough people get it and enjoy it, I want to be able to do more. I think the dream, when someone goes, "Well, what's your dream? What's your big wow?" I always say, you know what? I'd love to be at a point where I have an idea on Monday and we're actually starting to execute it on Friday and get things going. That must be an amazing feeling as an artist to have the resources to be able to have an idea and the skills within you to start executing it because you have the money and the resources that you don't spend your time going, wow, that's a great idea. I gotta find somebody that can help me make it. I need money, and you spend a year looking for the money after that. It must be amazing. And that's my goal in 2025 is to shorten the distance between having the idea and being able to execute it and being grateful for all the creative people that have believed in what I did. All boats rise. I would love to pay them more and have them much more to hand. When I have an idea, as budgets go up, you buy people's availability. Rob the bank and makes finance. Yes, that's true. I like how you think. But, is anybody in the chat, any of you guys have any questions about my stuff, or have you watched any of it? Have you watched the, invention compilation that I've put up, or the Ghost Quest, or listened to any of the things? Is there any questions you have about it? I'd love to hear how it's landing, or if you've enjoyed any of it, or if you haven't listened to it, I can recommend some things. So drop it in the chat. Um the other thing I wanted to talk about is in the next year or so, I am gonna try and do more of these live streams. I'm going to, try and give you a little bit more of a sort of fly on the wall about my life. There's some amazing people I've met through YouTube, some of which are right here in the chat, who have been, wonderful, Deleted and Shanotsky and Darth. You guys all have made a difference and have supported me, and I'm grateful for it. And I wouldn't know you had I not been here on YouTube. And I've realized that that's sometimes the gold that's right in your backyard that you go out looking somewhere else for it. But I have you guys and the people that I've met through YouTube that have made a huge difference. One person that I met through YouTube, he's really made a big difference in my ability to do things and my reach and the things that I've been able to do. So there are a number of people, a number of men and women that have made a huge difference through this. And maybe I need to be on here a little bit more. Do you think that's a good idea for me to do these sort of live updates maybe on the weekend? Drop a comment or leave something in the chat. Okay. Thoughts on movies that are made for Tubi or YouTube? Is it a good jumping off point for a first time filmmaker? I think by made for Tubi or YouTube, I'm assuming you mean the scale and the budget of it. Tubi is really coming up. They do have an original movie division that they're starting, but they are giving some serious competition to even Disney Plus. I met the guy that was doing Tubi years and years and years ago when he was handing out a card at American Film Market wanting to start it. And I thought, oh, that's an interesting idea. It's kind of like cable, it's got commercials, but it's free, so you could go watch a movie or watch a TV show on this platform. Well, Tubi just they have the best indie library out right now. I hope they don't get so big that, like Amazon, they purge all the indie stuff that got them there once they get a bigger company involved and big stuff that they don't want to compete um, with indie stuff, and they dump it. I hope Tubi stays that way because what a repository of like obscure 80s B movies, my movies, talk about obscure, all these indie movies that make it really cool to go on Tubi. Sometimes I'll have like 10 things stacked up. It's like, oh, I want to watch Jason the Argonauts and I want to watch this and that. And wow, they've got this old film noir. You got this. So it's a cool, they have Farscape. I mean, they have a ton of stuff on there. I think making a movie on you that ends up on Tubi or YouTube can be good for a first time filmmaker because it's proof of concept that you can execute, you can deliver it. Tubi has delivery requirements. You know, it has to be of a certain spec and it has to be of a certain quality, but it also gives you that feedback loop. You know, if you put it on YouTube, you're going to get comments and people are going to see it. That's where the eyeballs are. With Tubi, if you get some commercials on it and stuff, you'll start to see a little bit of money. I think as a first time filmmaker, any chance you have to get your stuff seen, and if the platform is agnostic, it doesn't really matter what the platform is. If you can make a little bit of money enough to make another thing, that's more ideal, which you can monetize YouTube, and Tubi does pay something. So I think it's a good way of thinking of going, I'm going to make something that's professional enough to be on Tubi, or I'm going to make something and make it work on YouTube. So delete it. I think that's a very long answer, uh, but it's my thoughts. I do think having an idea of where it's going to be before you make it is super important because we do stuff that we want to see and we hope people agree with it, but you are doing something for a platform and an audience. You don't paint a painting and hang it in the closet. You know, you make it to be seen. So I think I think the barrier to entry on YouTube is so low. Yes, no brainer. If you can find a way to make a movie and put it on there, that's great because you can show proof of concept, eyeballs, blah blah blah. Tubi, you do need a distributor to get it on, but again, you might make some money, and you can say you have something that's actually distributed. So that's a great question. Any other questions or any other things? Just drop it in the chat. Um, and if you want to take a look at our show reel, you go to luminactus.com. It's in the description. That's the company that I have here in the valley. We've been around for almost 2 decades now, producing stuff. And we also are vertically integrated. So we'll do visual effects, we'll do post, we do soup to nuts from concept to execution. And I'm ramping that up to be more productive here after a rocky couple of years with everything that was going on in the world. We are back on our feet and starting to do more stuff, which I'm also excited about. So if we don't have any more questions, I just wanted to make this a little update. Do if you haven't subscribed and you like what you're hearing and seeing, please do subscribe and hit me with a like there on any of them, and take a look at the videos that I've uploaded or seek out some of the stuff. I think the audio stuff works best, you know, as an audio presentation, although some of them I do show the Zoom when I'm recording everybody, and some of it I actually, you know, directed them live. We did it kind of live, so it's kind of fun seeing the high wire act of, you know, Dracula or Scrooge the Festivus incident. Take a look at those, and I'll let you know how the crowdfunding stuff is going. Island is still very much in play. This Paleface movie that I'm directing for them. They're also getting some interesting stuff going. It's definitely worth looking into Paleface. That link is on here. Kind of cool Native American sci-fi western. And that's what I've been up to. I enjoyed doing the live show recently for Halloween, and those will be coming out. And I have a few more projects. I am going to be in an episode of Bosch Legacy that's on Amazon. That's coming out. That's their final season, I think, is coming out early next year. I'm also briefly in Star Wars, Tales of the Empire. I'm Moff Isdane, the villain, which is a blast to do. Really loved doing that. I have a bunch of other projects. You can check out my IMDb. You can see what I'm up to as an actor. And I'm always writing. I have another project that I've finished the script for and just sent it off yesterday, the day before, and we're going to be doing that pretty soon too. So thanks for coming in. Really appreciate the chat. Thank you all. Let me drop a little thank you in here. And if you have any other questions or anything, obviously leave a comment, or I'd love for you to tell people about the channel. If there's something that you watch on here that you think was good, let people know. And hopefully, I will see all of you soon. Thanks so much. Shanatsky, Darth, Deleted, thank you for being here. Means a lot to me. Take care, all. Bye bye.